What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Jock Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Ketchum, aka the Nerdy Jock. I am here again with my co-host DK, who was gone last week because he's celebrating his birthday. So happy belated birthday, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, it was a great time. You know, I went up to Big Bear. I took my 6-year-old jet skiing. My 6-year-old, he is now a jet ski man. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to rip it across the lake, like all day. So
yeah, he's fearless, man. That little cat's fearless. He's been watching anime since he's 2, so he's not afraid of anything, I think.
Oh yeah, no, he's just like, I have to be the best at everything. You know, typical shonen hero shit.
Typical. But that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm glad you had a great birthday. So today we're actually talking about Ghost in the Shell Episode 5, Phantom Fund. Really interesting episode to talk about. We have a lot of really cool talking points. But before we get into Ghost in the Shell, I have to do, I don't want to say vent, but I do have to say, I gotta talk a little bit about Naruto. I'm watching Naruto after, God. Yeah. I mean, DK, so if you guys watch the pod or consistently on the pod, thank you very much. But I started Naruto because I am completely caught up to One Piece. I'm on like 1,117, whatever. I might have 2 episodes behind because they just restarted again after that short hiatus in June. But I'm caught up in One Piece. I'm starting Naruto. I know I got to see Bleach, but I've seen all of Dragon Ball, Super, Dragon Ball, everything there. So I just needed to get back on the Naruto train because I felt like, you know what? Every otaku, every person I've talked to online has said, you know what, Kevin, you're not a real fan unless you've seen Naruto. I'm like, okay, you're right. I got to step it up. So I had stopped at episode 16, Dan, and then I had to take a break because they're on this damn bridge for like 6 episodes. I'm like, what's going on here? But that's not it. That's not the end of it. I started back on 16. It was 4 more episodes on the damn bridge. I'm like, guys, I've spent 10 freaking episodes of Naruto on the bridge. I mean, I'm going to do this, get off my lawn. But I'll tell you, there should not be a 10 episode arc on a damn bridge where that fight could have been 2 episodes max, guys. I mean, 3 because you have like 5 minutes of fillers and recaps and stuff like that. 3 episodes max, but 10, that is ludicrous, DK. Ludicrous. Ugh, I'm
Kevin, first of all, how dare you? You're talking about Zabuza. You're talking about one of the greatest first arcs in all of shonen anime history. You're saying it's a 10 episode arc where they're fighting on a bridge, and you endured the Frieza saga, which is 28 episodes of fighting with Frieza. Literally, that entire fight, 3 minutes until the planet explodes. 28 episodes to accomplish that shit. Actually, no. That's being conservative. I think it's 32 episodes or something like that. It's crazy how long the Frieza fight is. You're complaining about one of the greatest openings of Naruto, where they go and they defend the bridge, Zabuza versus Kakashi, Naruto Sasuke versus Haku, all of that stuff, man. I mean, it's like, how could you not love it? How could you not love it, Kevin?
Well, here's the deal. I'm just not connected to the characters yet. It's only been 16 episodes, and they've just been talking the whole time, and now they do a fight, and it's just like, moan, 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 this. I'm like, bro, just like, shit or get off the bridge, is what I'm saying. So
you are following a hero who sucks at everything, but who's willing to stab himself in the hand to prove his resolve, because he's like, I'm not going to be anybody's burden. I'm going to stab myself through my hand to show you guys how committed I am to my ninja way.
Well, you know what, DK? Stabbing in Naruto, I found out, doesn't really amount to jack shit. Because Sasuke had 30 needles in his back, in his front, like dead, and he's fine, and he's walking back like the next episode. I'm like, okay, bro, you'll be all right. At least in Dragon Ball Z, they're like, if they're hurting, they're like bent over for a few episodes, unless they have a sensu bean or something. But, and you know what? I'll be honest. I was on Instagram the other day, DK, and I mean, I promise we're going to talk about Ghost in the Shell, but we got to get through this first. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Every time I see freaking Super Saiyans power up, I can't scroll past that shit. Like, I have to watch it. That's my like thing. I'm like, dude, and it's the same thing. It's repetitive. Like, I was watching the other day. I'm like, dude, Kevin, you don't need to watch this shit again. But I couldn't help it. It was like someone showing the Daima. The end of Daima is like the Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, man. And then it was the Broly fight where they went Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan Blue to Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan. I was like, dude, That was dope. I'm like, just the power ups, watching them do the power ups. That for some reason, that is my core memory right there. So I'm getting Naruto way late. So like, for me, it's a bit different. Maybe you saw Naruto when you're a lot younger and it has a bigger impact, but I'm getting into the Naruto game very, very late. But I promise, as a fan of anime and an otaku, I am watching Naruto. I'm going to get through it. I promise. But I hear you guys. DK, you're right. Everyone's right. Naruto's the best or one of the best. So I'm going to watch it. I love samurai shit.
Listen.
That's my favorite stuff.
You can watch Naruto Kai. I mean, I'm not going to tell you where it is, but it exists. You can watch it. It goes a little bit faster.
Thank you. Give me a Naruto Kai.
And even though I gave you shit, let me just say one last thing on this, because we got to get to Ghost in the Shell.
We got to get the Ghost in the Shell.
A lot of otakus, you can sort them into either Team One Piece or Team Naruto. And I have similar misgivings with One Piece. And first of all, let me just say, I'm very impressed that you were able to catch up on One Piece. Because if you guys knew how busy this guy is, his schedule week to week, and then on top of the last year and a half planning for a wedding on top of everything, and he managed to catch up on One Piece, that is insanity.
I have the most amazing wife ever. She dealt with it. She put up with it. She knows who Zoro is, and that's about it.
That's all. Honestly, that's all you need to know. I mean, One Piece for me is very hit and miss. It's like love Alabasta, love Skypia, hated Thriller Bark. Like on and on and on. But there's like the hardcore One Piece people who are like, no, but this arc was setting up this very important thing, which is now being paid off like all the way in the end. So everything is important. Oda really set up everything. So it's like, I get it. I've seen through Dressrosa. I'll jump back on it at some point. My problem is that I just think there's too many people on the crew, man. I know I'm going to get more hate than you. Crew.
Yeah, I think it's getting bigger. I think it's going to get bigger. I think Loki is going to join the crew, and you haven't even seen him yet. He's a freaking giant. So yeah, I mean, I haven't read the manga. I'm just watching the anime, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm pot committed to One Piece, and I promise once I'm to like episode 50 or 100 of Naruto, I'll be fine. And the good thing is Naruto, I saw like season 1 was only like 35, 40 episodes. So the seasons are a lot shorter. So I feel a lot more comfortable, even though it was an 8 to 10 episode fight on a bridge that could have been 1 or 2 episodes max. I do feel that it is a lot more accessible. I can knock out 40, no problem. I can do the first season, and then I'll probably be hooked, hopefully, by then.
Okay,
right?
So the second season, the Chunin exam is like 60 episodes, so buckle up. But it's Kevin, it's so good. The Chunin exam is so good. People, you got to comment and tell them how good the Chunin exam is. That's when Naruto
guys, let me know.
Really kicks off, man. I mean, I think Zabuza was a good introduction to Naruto. I mean, you know who the character is. You know how he's been dragged through the mud his whole life because of something that wasn't even his fault, and he sucks at everything, but he still tries his best, man. I read an article today, and it was on social media, so it was probably bullshit. But it was a psychologist. A psychologist lady was like, the generation that grew up watching Naruto can tolerate stress better than their parents can, because they
can take knives to their hands like Naruto can, evidently.
Yeah.
And Sasuke, because he got shot with 40 damn needles all over his body, and he was down for maybe 2 episodes, and then he got back up and he was fine. So I don't know how effective the shurikens and the knives in the ninja world of Naruto are, but they're not that effective from what I can tell. But
how many people are impaled by a beam in Dragon Ball Z and live to tell the tale? I think that.
Well, they got Dragon Balls for a reason, man, and like when they get messed up, they get messed up. Like Vegeta, when he gets beaten to a pulp a few times on Planet Namek. But you know what? That's another day, another story.
Right.
We're actually we're gonna course correct right now. We're gonna turn our sail the other way and go on to Ghost in the Shell, episode 5, Phantom Funds, which, as we'll talk about that in a second, 'cause there's kind of a recurring theme going on with all of the Phantom stuff going on in Ghost in the Shell. And I'm just gonna give you a 1-paragraph breakdown, and we'll get right into it. Okay, DK?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. In episode 5, Phantom Funds, Section 9 heads north to monitor the combat cyborg Koil Krasnov, whose activities are tied to the emerging Phantom Fund conspiracy to uncover Koi's true objectives and the corruption concealed behind Sagawa Electronics' underground factory expansion. The team splits up. Major Motoko Kusanagi infiltrates the corporate headquarters on her own, while Bato and the others move on the underground facility. The dual investigation advances a larger case involving hidden financial dealings, corrupt military ties, and smuggled resources, while delivering a significant confrontation for Bato. Okay, DK, I'm going to let you start this one off. Just overall thoughts before we get into details. What do you think about this episode? I got some spice.
My first thought is that what was happening? As I was listening to you describe the plot, I was like, oh, is that what was happening?
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's moments in otaku lives, and I'm a Ghost in the Shell fan. I love it. But I got to be honest with you, DK, like this show can be surprisingly difficult to follow at times. Like the dialogue doesn't make much sense. I watch every episode probably 3 times before we pod about it, just to try to get as much as I can. And honestly, I still don't really know what's going on. And it is kind of frustrating because I'm like, in this episode, basically, it all boils down to this corporation was stealing government money to use to build an underground facility for some reason. Like, that's literally it. An ex-general, just like every other episode, by the way, an ex-general stole funds from the government. They filtered it through a company and Sagawa Electronics or whatever, and then they started building a new underground, geofront for some unknown
for the third
reason.
impact.
Like, yeah, you gotta for third,
This show, I realize why, and like, no offense to people who love the manga, I now am starting to feel like I understand why they never adapted it. Especially when you have a home run like the film that just killed it. And then now I'm starting to see a lot of the things that were in Arise that I didn't really care for are a lot of the reasons why I never really fully got on with Standalone Complex. But I'm like, but both of those shows kind of took the secret agent Mission Impossible / police procedural style that is somewhere in the manga stories on top of a lot of exposition, world building, and all of that, and refined it and made it simpler and easier to follow. And no hate on that, because I gotta be honest, I am completely lost. Like you, I watched this episode today, and I was just like, okay, I mean, I understand the words that they're saying. I understand that Bato had a protege that died and all of that stuff, and he was upset about that. I understood everything that Fuchikoma was doing.
Right.
But by the end of the episode, I was like, what happened? Like, what was that? What happened? And then
it's like, what was the point of what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Then I watched it again, like back to back. I was like, okay, well, let me watch it again. And I was like, okay, there are some things that I'm kind of sticking a little bit more, but I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you admitted it too, because I'm just like, I was just confused. And I read the manga, and the manga is very dense in detail about like explaining that, basically they go in, especially in this chapter, they talk about the corruption and everything going on and government. And basically, this is just another episode, because we've seen about 3 or 4, we're at episode 5, and we've seen, I think 3 of the 5 have been strictly about like government cover-ups, government corruption, government misusing of funds, and like all this dumb, like just government misusing money, or government trafficking humans, misusing money. I feel like they should just send the IRS of Japan to go after these people. Like, they don't need Section 9 to get these guys who just embezzle money, or they find this gold from this old submarine or an underground base that was lost in the war, 40 years ago. Like, that's literally what it is. They're just stealing government funds so they can funnel it to whatever project they're working on now. And all you hear is there's always, at the end of every episode, there's like an old general who's retired who's like, oh, well, you know what they need to do? Now, I'm going to just they need, in Ghost in the Shell, you know what? The Japanese government just needs to have a better pension fund for our old generals, okay? They're all retired. They all seem like they're pissed off because they didn't get enough money. Fix the pension program in the Ghost in the Shell world, because that would solve pretty much 9 out of these 10 cases. Puppet Master's not involved yet. if they could just fix the HSA, they get a better health care, they get a better pension, and they get better retirement funds, and maybe get, some mutual funds in there as well, they'll be fine. But every episode, it's like these guys just steal money because they're greedy, and it's about corporate greed, but it doesn't really even go into detail. So I'm getting frustrated. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting kind of frustrated, DK, because it started off so great, because the animation is gorgeous, right? It's still beautiful, fun to watch.
This is becoming, for me, as sad to say, the second coming of Dragon Ball Daima, where it's just this beautiful show where I'm like,
say it ain't so, Dan.
Yeah, I mean that's the truth, man. I mean, I was getting a sniff of that in episode 2 at the beginning. I talked about it there, where Aramaki comes in and the Major's at the bar. And he's just like, we told the government this, but that wasn't true. It was actually, we formed this secret unit, but that secret unit was also not true. And the reason it wasn't true is so we could form an actual secret unit called the Shell Unit, but that wasn't true either. And so now we're forming this unit, and you're going to have full autonomy and blah, 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 even though it's not true. That's what we're doing. And it's like, wait, how many, what the hell did he just say? Like, he reversed it. We did this, but it wasn't really true because it was actually this, but that wasn't true either. That happens so many times, and I feel like the stuff that you're talking about, the density of all the motivation of pissed off generals not getting their pensions, not getting, what they deserved after, giving their lives to the military.
30 years or more of service, yes.
Exactly.
It's like, just pay these guys, and they won't fucking steal from the government anymore. Like, I just feel like the Japanese IRS can just handle this. It's like, what we don't need these badass, secret agents. That's why I said on the last episode or 2 episodes ago, I was like, they need to have an episode in, I can't remember the name of the country, but the country where all the crazy shit's happening. I was like, that's where they need to go, Mission Impossible style, go there, because that's what's happening. I mean, hell, Motoko needed to relieve stress in this episode. She blew one dude's head off right in the middle of the street, in this red light district when they go up north.
He did like get her in the back with a pickaxe. So
he did get in the back with a pickaxe. So that was actually justified. But like, I was like, what is going on here?
But, I didn't see the axe until she pulled it out. So like you, my first impression was, oh, she just shot a dude in the face for being an asshole. It was a road rage incident basically, where some dude like yelled at her as he drove by, and she's just like, boom. Pop.
Yeah, no, I caught that in the second watch around too. But I mean, let's just talk about our favorite moments of the show, because we just bitched for like 5 minutes. So let's talk about some of the stuff we did like.
I like two things.
You go ahead. You start off.
The Fuchikomas. They're. I mean, like
they're the show.
So we talked about. Yeah, we talked about this is the first time that the manga author's Major, we're seeing her animated, and she's got all this personality, and she's, feisty and all this stuff. But, she is feisty, but I'm starting to be like, what? She doesn't really have a personality though.
Right.
She just kind of seems randomly feisty.
She's the straight character. She's the straight character of the show. You got Aramaki, who's the boss, tell him in orders, and she has a line, a quip here and there like Seinfeld. She's the straight character, and then you got all these, not even very interesting people around her. Bato, he's gun crazy. That's kind of fun. I do like him. And Togusa's got the family, but he's not really talking about that. So he's just like, it's like two guys over their head in situations they can't get out of, and Motoko has to pretty much take the point. So
but the Fuchikomas are like they're
the
curious,
ones.
They're inquisitive, they have no filter. They're like children, so they just speak their mind. They're
great.
They're like the best part of the show, and I'm surprised because I was annoyed by them in Arise. I was like, oh man, why do the robots talk like children? But now I'm into it. I'm like, dude, the Fuchikomas are cool.
Fuchikomas are the best part of the show. You said that a couple times ago. We're talking about a spin-off show. I wanted the Mission Impossible show where they just go to the other country that they're always talking about, which I can't remember right now. Gingham Land or whatever, I don't know, whatever land it is. And then they have you said you just wanted a Fuchikoma spinoff. And I'm like, honestly, after this episode, I'm like, dude, just give me all the Fuchikoma action. Like, just let them go through the red light district, go steal supplies from other characters from the Shirow world, by the way. A cool little Easter egg. I'm just gonna use that segue right there. They did a really, really fun and interesting moment. In this episode, they go when they're up north in this region. They go to this. There's a red light district. It's pretty crazy, pretty lawlessness. Very much like a Blade Runner kind of esque town. There's guys just shooting guns for no reason. One dude stabbed Motoko, like you said, in the back with a pickaxe. But there's also these two cat ladies who are selling stolen goods in a little bodega, basically. Yeah. And the Fuchikoma goes up to buy or steal. He went to barter and trade like his arm for some kind of piece of old school equipment. But I was like, for a second, I'm like, wait, who are these two girls? Who are these two cat ladies? And I had a core memory come back from literally 20 plus years ago. I was like, wait, they're familiar. And I'm like, wait, what other works did Shirow do? He did Dominion Tank Police. Those are the Puma twins, Anna and Uni Puma, who are the bad, I don't want to say bad guys main, but like they're the cat women of that world. They're like the troublemakers under a big bad boss. I can't remember the big boss's name, but I remember them because they're on all the covers of all the mangas and stuff like that. And they're in the OVA, which is 4 episodes long, which I have seen. So like it was a throwback, and it was cool to see a little cameo from the Puma Sisters in Ghost in the Shell episode 5. But that was actually a really cool moment for me because not only does it age me dramatically, but it also just is a throwback to the manga and other series that he's worked on too. But
it's the Shirowverse, man. Yeah,
the Shirowverse, man. Yeah, they slipped him in there. But that was kind of cool. One other thing that I really, one thing I do like, because I'll be real with you, man, this episode was probably like a C- for me. Like I was like, whatever. But one thing I do love is how every time Motoko like plugs into the Matrix, we'll just call it the Matrix, the web, whatever, to get her information, they have like a different kind of really cool visual kind of moment when she plugs in, and every Ghost in the Shell series does it in their own way. But this one, it's every different time she comes in, it's kind of a different visual style and a little vibe. And I think that's pretty fun. And I really enjoy that. And maybe that's sad because that's one of my favorite parts of the show right now is just like her getting plugged in and seeing what happens. But that was kind of cool.
No, but Science SARU is bringing it, man. Yeah. I mean, they're like the best part of the show.
They really are.
The way that the show is being rendered is great. The way that it's being paced, not so great. The way that the characters are being rolled out, the way the information is being thrown at you, all of that stuff isn't great. But it like, again, it harkens back to when we were watching Daima.
Yeah.
Daima is maybe arguably the best Dragon Ball has ever looked from an animation standpoint, just in terms of all of the talent on it. Like, and I'm not saying like the best moments. I'm just talking about like visually, the compositing, the keyframes, everything. It's like, it might be the best it's ever looked, aside from maybe Super Broly.
Super Broly's a shit.
Later Broly movie that came out. But God, did it suck, the story, and like that's how this is making me feel. I did like when she was battling with the big bad at the end. I liked that because it reminded me of the kind of video games that I played.
Like Contra. I remember like something from Contra, right? Or like NES. It was like, I was like, dude, this is totally some kind of creature you'd see in Altered Beast or like a Contra game or something like that. I was like, I had the same feeling. Right. That's amazing. Yeah,
or even later, I'm playing the Lies of P DLC right now. For those of you who like Souls-likes and haven't played Lies of P, you gotta check that out. But like that whole thing where it's like the giant face comes out. It's the Pinocchio Souls-like game. So,
okay, yeah, so I know what you're talking about.
It's freaking hard, but if you love those hard Dark Souls-like games, dude, you'll love it. But the way that the beheaded body was moving around and the head coming out of the wall, is like, oh, this really reminds me of a Souls-like game in that way. But yeah, like you said too, aesthetically, like Contra or any of those things, it just had a visually cool thing. But then the episode ended, and again, as I have with other episodes so far in the show, it's just like, okay, that was it.
Yeah,
it's granted, more complete. It had a more definitive ending than, say, episode 3. Episode 3, we were both complaining, just kind of fell off a cliff, But this one was a little bit better. But yeah, man.
You don't really, we don't even really get character moments. So DK, like even Bato, like he knew the guy who got murdered, and he was upset about that, and like that was his motivation for the episode, but there wasn't really a great resolution. There was a scene in the elevator at the very end, which is kind of a touching moment, but like it's just it's so quick that like it really doesn't do justice for any of the characters. It's just like the pace has got to be so fast to fit it into 10 episodes, the whole, the original manga, that it's just, it doesn't give it the justice it needs to really do good. And I mean, that actually kind of is a great segue for another point, is that like, I know you're not a huge Standalone Complex fan. I've been watching it, and as I get further in, it's winning me over. The further I get into Standalone Complex, but like granted, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm only on like episode 13 of season 1. There's like 20, and I still have to see the second gig. But like now, it's actually starting to get more complex. The crimes that they're investigating are a lot more interesting and more psychologically engaging. Like they have this. The other episode I watched a couple of days ago, there was like an organ trafficking situation going on, which is like, like trying to get human parts and cyborgs. Like they're talking about like, well, what really matters. That was really interesting to see. And then have the Laughing Man came back, and so that was pretty cool. And I mean, it just they're doing a lot more in Standalone Complex than I thought, and like mental health issues and like people who have cyborg body parts going crazy, and it's like what makes you human? Like they're actually getting to the existential question that the Oshi movies got to. And I was like, I really kind of wrote Standalone Complex off as a CSI-ish procedural, but the more I watch it comparatively to the new series that I'm watching now, like I really do appreciate Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex a lot more than I did like even 3 weeks ago. So like
I gotta be honest, for as much shit as I've talked about Standalone Complex and how I never got into it because it just felt like it was an imitation of the movie that wasn't as good. Mm-hmm. I'm curious about potentially starting Standalone Complex now. Because now I'm seeing from this show, it's like, okay, Ghost in the Shell is just Mission Impossible with cyborgs. Yeah. And that's what it is. And I mean, it feels like Standalone Complex, from the little that I have seen of it, does it better. And I'm just like, and I'm also, there's a lot of people online, for them, that was like their Ghost in the Shell. They didn't see the movie first. They saw this first when it aired on Adult Swim. And it's on the Criterion channel right now, Standalone Complex, I guess. I saw that somewhere. Evangelion coming soon. But, I mean,
wait, time out. What'd you say? Evangelion, is it coming to Criterion?
It's coming to the Criterion channel, yeah. I don't know that they're going to do a physical media release. Of course. Honestly, they're going to have to wait 25 years until the rights on Fly Me to the Moon expires so that they can... I have that same... Guys, that is the only ultimate release. That is the only release that is good that you can get anymore. That is fan made. Yeah.
This matters. Obviously, it's my favorite anime of all time. We haven't even done Neon Genesis because I've been scared to not do it justice. So we're gonna do it. Look, there's my.
I'm rewatching it right now. My August rewatch right now.
I love it. Well, let's do it. Let's do it after you're done with the August rewatch. I'll do it with you, and we'll do the rebuild too. I'm excited about that. Okay. No. Back on point. No, but I could talk about Evangelion for pretty much like eternity. But let's get back into this. So, I'm with you. I think you should give Standalone Complex another chance. The first 6 or 7 episodes, you can fold laundry. But like once they get to like 9, 10, the plot actually starts getting deeper. It gets thicker. They start connecting dots from other, like they do establish stuff that runs throughout the series. Kind of like X-Files does like a season-long arc, but then they have Monsters of the Week kind of situation. And Standalone Complex does that too. And it's actually starting to pull me in because I'm like, you know what? This is a lot more entertaining and more engaging than I thought. It's a lot like Psychopaths, like you said. Like it does have that kind of darker psychological kind of vibe to it as well. So I would say I need to apologize because I was just like, oh, Standalone Complex, dude, and I hadn't seen it, Yeah, we both did.
Me
and I hadn't finished it.
I was like, nah, it's not good, blah, blah. I mean, I was still pissed off about Arise because I didn't like Arise. But
That
now
was
I'm
such a
like,
little bitch move of me too, man.
yeah, but I'm like,
I wrote it off,
I
guys. I'm
will
sorry.
yeah, maybe
Forgive
I'll
me.
like it. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
like it. You know?
I think you'll like it. I mean, online you hear people when they talk about standalone complex, they say it is underrated. That's the most common thing I see in every thread, every Reddit, every Instagram post. Is like the underrated, overly, overtly, all the time underrated show is standalone complex, and I think there's a reason for that. It is a good, it's a great show, and unfortunately, I mean, this new Ghost in the Shell series that I was, I'm gung ho on is, like story wise, it's just not living up to it. I mean, the animation, the visuals, gorgeous. I love watching it. Like, I love getting lost in this world. That's the thing is, I do like being here in this series. But I mean, the story's just too convoluted. The dialogue's too hard to follow, and like the plots aren't really there. I
There's
feel like
nothing to latch onto except for
there's
gorgeous
nothing to latch
visuals,
onto.
and it's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's gorgeous.
This is becoming. If it weren't such a nice thing to look at, it's becoming a laundry fold show, where
Yeah,
it's becoming a chore. Because I'm watching this because we're talking about it here, and now instead of being excited about Tuesdays, I'm like, oh God, I have to freaking watch the next episode. Is it gonna be good? I mean, last week there was some interesting stuff going on. Granted, I wasn't here
yeah.
for that episode when you did that. I mean, now I see where a lot of the themes from Innocence came from, but this
Dude,
week, yeah, I'm
TK, they got the whole film off of chapter 4.
yeah,
Like straight that was great. And then
really.
Innocence is amazing. It made me appreciate it even more. And now I am realizing that when we talked about this before we even started this pod was that, the bubbles. We keep talking about the bubbles, the ecosystem. You've got your Ghost in the Shell manga, and you got your standalone complex, you got your Arise, you've got your films, you got that, and they're all just like picking cool pieces from here and there, and they're making their own universes together, kind of like Gundam in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to appreciate it too. Like, one doesn't have to be better than the other, but this series is definitely showing some flaws that I wish, they story wise they would have been able to fix. But because there's so much other Ghost in the Shell content out there right now, I feel like the Ghost in the Shell committee did the right thing by saying, you know what, let's just keep this one a straight manga adaptation with beautiful visuals. If the story's not what it needs to be, like, let it be what it is. It's going to stand alone, not in a complex. It's going to stand alone as its own piece of the Ghost in the Shell universe. After it's completed and it's out, it's going to be its own beautiful bubble that you can build other things off of, like an AI matrix, and it just kind of like Claude. It's just going to grow from each other. So like, I don't hate it in that regard. It's just been frustrating to watch because it's pretty damn hard to follow sometimes, man. And I read the damn manga.
It's very dense. Is the manga better paced? Should I just start reading the manga?
No, I mean, no, well, you need to read the manga, but it's not better paced at all. It's because it has a lot of dense details where it just explains the science behind it. Because there's a lot of, he did a lot of research in everything they talk about. And the thing is, like, the 22 minutes does not do these episodes justice.
Well,
like the last one was about child human trafficking, and they talked about it for 30 seconds. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
There was a lag. I have a question for our audience. If you can comment, I'm not going to look this up right now, but what was Shirow's background before he started drawing manga? Was he a computer science guy? Because I know in a lot of cases, a lot of mangaka, they do something that's close to the subject matter that they eventually write about. For instance, George Ishikawa, I think his name is, who does Hajime no Ippo, I think actually worked as a cornerman of some kind at Korakuen Hall in Japan and watched a lot of boxing fights. And then he started writing Hajime no Ippo, which if people listen to us talk, no, that's my favorite manga ever. Yeah. It's the best. It's so good. So, I mean, yeah, I wonder if this guy, with all of his knowledge, I mean, he could have just been a hobbyist. Maybe he's one of those dudes who, like, built computers, and he was really into transhumanism before it was a thing. He was imagining a world where, there was a singularity where we, meld with machines at some point. He just got really, really into that and decided that that was what he was going to write about. But then I think that Oshii really refined it. And everything that came after Oshii is in the shadow of Oshii, because Oshii made 2 films, which are just both masterpieces.
Both masterpieces, man.
Yeah.
Both
just blow
masterpieces.
this show out of the water. I'm sorry to say, and that's not
It's true.
me being a grouchy old taku.
Yeah.
Because I will give things that are good their due, but man, like what is happening?
Yeah.
You told me what this episode was about. The top of this episode, I don't even remember still.
Yeah.
So what was this about?
I mean, I think there was some kind of gold bars involved. Like that's I was like okay, so they're just literally going there to kill people, kill some cyborgs because of stolen money from the government. I'm like, well, you guys are IRS agents. You're Section 9. What are you going to be, IRS agents or Section 9? You're like, please tell me, because it's getting frustrating. But one other thing I got to talk about, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be negative, but like I got to be honest with you. Based off how this series has gone so far, we're halfway through. There's 10 episodes. That's the whole manga is like 11 chapters, but that's because there's an epilogue and a prologue too. And those are going to be combined in the first and the last episode. But Puppet Master doesn't even come to the fold till episode 9 of the series. There's 9 and 10. That's where Puppet Master, they're mentioned in the third one, but the character which everyone knows about Ghost in the Shell, whether it's the films or a standalone, every other series in Ghost in the Shell universe revolves around that kind of the cat and mouse Puppet Master fight with Motoko. And based on what we've seen so far, it's just gonna breeze through and be like, okay, whatever, boop, boop, boop. Episode 10 is gonna end and she's just gonna be, boop, I'm plugging out. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm kind of nervous now. I was super excited. I'm like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? I'm like, well, I read the manga. Are they really going to wait? Are they not going to introduce it a little sooner? I'm like, no, they're going to wait. They're just going to go chapter by chapter. And that's going to, that for story problems, guys, that's an issue because you get 22, 24 minutes in this show and they're going to have to do the whole Puppet Master arc in 2 episodes. Naruto, yeah, I get it. The bridge fight they can do in 2 episodes, it doesn't need 8. But like the whole premise of the main point of like what is real, what's not, AI, birth, death, rebirth, Evangelion, that whole point is 1 episode. It's gonna be 2 episodes. DK, I'm like freaking out here. I'm like, man, what? We'll see. I mean, I guess it's just like we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I do not doubt that there is a possibility that we could be surprised. There might be episodes that we enjoy more. I think that this one was just a miss. I think it was a miss, and I think that. If the whole show ends up being a miss, then at least, the people who love the manga, they got an adaptation finally. And they got one of the best studios working right now to adapt it. So, good on you guys. Like, seriously. I mean, and if you enjoy it, that's amazing. I'm happy for anybody who watches this and is getting something out of it. Like, truly, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's just missing. It's just missing me. It's just missing me. Like, I cannot follow it. I don't know what's happening.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, and you have to read the manga, then you have to watch the episode probably like 3 times to really like try to get your head around it. And it's still, it still doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. I was like, I read the manga, I read it before I watch the show, and then I watch 3 times. And I'm not, I'm not stupid. I've got a pretty decent IQ. I'm up there. 75, guys.
Yeah, Mensa, 75.
No, I'm joking. It's nerdy jock. No, but seriously, like, I know my stuff, and it's like, dude, this is just, it's a lot to take in. But it's like, let me just pose this question for you then, DK, because we're at an existential point in this series as viewers, where we're like, we got to put ourselves in the shoes of the Ghost in the Shell committee and Science SARU. Okay, we're just doing role playing for a second here.
Sure.
It's like, we're like, well, we have the chance to adapt this show, the most visually stunning and beautiful adaptation, and the first time it's ever been actually adapted as a manga to anime adaptation. And that's big right now. Like, that's what every anime series is going from, like, doing the Naruto style. They're just like, hey, we're doing 10 episodes, solo leveling, that kind of thing. We're just going to do a beautiful show. We're going to keep the arc small. We're not going to expand. We're not going to have filler episodes. Even One Piece is doing it now. My question is this, if you're Science SARU and you're Ghost in the Shell committee, you guys are talking about this, like, hey, this is gonna be hard to follow, man. You know, like, what do we do? Do we say, hey, look, they got the movies that are gorgeous. They've got Standalone Complex. They've got Arise. They've got, all these other universes where they can live in. I was like, do we do it the justice it deserves? Because it's never had a formal adaptation in over 40 years. Do that and lose a story? Or do we switch it up a little bit and do something different? So that's the question. That's the question of the show. I mean, we're going to find out in 5 more episodes, like, did it really work? What are you going to do?
Well, I mean, I don't know how many of the people in the Ghost in the Shell committee have ever been involved with any of the other previous projects. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a transfer of custody the way there is with the Bond films, for example. I mean, the Broccoli family and all of that, and the chain of custody.
Amazon,
and all that stuff. So I don't know if, and it could very well be. I mean, you work in entertainment. That's sometimes, you get money because you have an IP that people recognize, and then that can attract somebody like Amazon to be like, sure, yeah, we'll air it. So I don't know, at some point they had the rights to the manga, they had the rights to adapt the manga, and they said, IG has really taken a run at this nonstop for the past 30 years. Why don't we do our own version of it? And let's do the manga. And then Prime says yes, and then you have to get to work. And what you have promised is that you are now adapting something that, as you are adapting it, might not be something that is adaptable in a satisfying way. I mean, that's entirely possible. I mean, anything we say about the reason for the show being the way that it is only speculative. I think that if I was in the position, because that was your question.
Yeah, that's the question. That's a big question.
I mean, I don't know that I would defer or do anything different. It's like, listen, guys, the material is what it is. Yeah. We just have to make it look really good. We're Science SARU. Yeah. We have to make it look really good.
Okay.
And that's all we can do.
I think I'm gonna join you on this journey. Get it? Journey, and do it faithfully. Don't they have a song called "Faithfully" by Journey? Yeah, I agree. So it guys, at the end of the day, does it kind of suck that the story is really hard to follow and it's pretty convoluted? But it's like, what do you do? It's like, is one way better than the other? Because they've already had amazing, masterful adaptations that are nothing like the manga. Right. So it's like, are we going to do the best visually looking, stunning show that we can make? Which it is. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's an eyegasm to watch. I love watching it every week. That's probably my thing, is the visuals. That's probably my key takeaway. And the Fuchikomas, they're amazing. That's something that the manga had, that they really are like leaning in more in the series, and they could even do more if they wanted to. But I just feel like, if I'm in the boardroom and I got to make the decision, I'll say, you know what? Let's do this justice to the manga. Will it hurt story-wise? Maybe a bit.
You have a green light and a deadline, and you have nothing written, but you have a book. And it's like, well, we have to make that deadline, and we have the money, and they said go. So let's just
look at this writer DK talking from a practical filmmaking standpoint. I'm talking from an artist perspective, and this guy over here, this working writer, guys, I'm proud of DK. He's working on 3 projects right now. I can't even tell you about him, but this guy is crushing it in the world. So proud of you, bud.
From the artist's perspective, what I would do if I had carte blanche, if they're like, if all I was told was we want to do something that's closer to the manga, is I would try to write something that was manga adjacent, but dare I say better, but leaning in specifically into the things that people love about the manga that people haven't seen adapted yet, like a major with this kind of personality, and even a Bato with this kind of personality. Bato's a freaking goofball in this show. He's a big dork, he's Togasa, who's simultaneously this anxious husband / former womanizer. He's been with every woman in the world, apparently.
Or at least in his department, which HR hasn't got on him yet. I'm surprised about that, but.
So I would do something like that. The way that Lupin the Third, had a manga by Monkey Punch, and then it had the 60s show that Miyazaki worked on. Then it had the 70s show, which eventually aired on Adult Swim, and it had all these movies, and it became an anthological thing like Ghost in the Shell. But most of them have core things intact. Lupin's personality, his relationship with Zenigata, his relationships with Jigen and Goemon, and all that stuff. And I think that you could make something anthologically satisfying to manga fans with this that isn't just this. Because there isn't a lot here, again, to chew on. It's just kind of, there's a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of stuff. So that's what I would do. I would just be like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own version, but I'm gonna live by the credo, do no harm. I'm gonna try to make this make sense and satisfy new fans and the old fans as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, that was masterful, DK. And I just want to piggyback on that one time and say, you know what? After you just said that beautiful speech and those thoughts were amazing, but I think all I need is probably just 15 more minutes per episode. Instead of like 22, I need it to be like 40 minutes. Just like, like a 1 hour series on TV, it's like 45 minutes, right? I think if you give it 15 more minutes to flesh out a little bit more from the manga, because they are doing a really good job. I will be honest. They're doing a fantastic, well, of course, I'm being honest, but they're doing a fantastic job of pretty much adapting verbatim, scene for scene, word for word, the manga to the anime.
Yes.
But there are a few panels here and there and some details that it might be beneficial to the viewers like us who get it confused or whatever, because he explains it in the text boxes all around the manga on the sides of the panel. It's explained. But if they could just do that in a little easier way, maybe a Fuchikoma something, I don't know. But give it 10 more minutes per episode, and I think we solve a lot of the problems that we're having right now. Just because it's a time crunch, and then the plots are kind of convoluted because the dialogue's constrained, and it's tough because it's heavy, it's weighty. It's not the manga. I feel was meant to be a manga. It was not meant to be adapted like that. It's pretty tough.
Like Watchmen.
Yeah,
in a way.
It's like Watchmen in a way. Yeah, you can do the adaptation, but it's not going to do it justice because the book, just like in most films, the book's always better than the adaptation. But at least they are being honest and true to what Ghost in the Shell is, and started out as, and people, and the new generation and our generation, hell, all the generations are finally getting to see it how it was originally made from manga, but in an anime form. So I can't fault it for that, but that would be my final thoughts. I'm still love it. I'm still enjoying it, but it's tough. It's tough. There's tough points,
yeah.
but
what?
Okay.
My final thoughts, if you truly gave me carte blanche, I'd just say, guys, screw doing an anime. Let's just remake the PS1 game. Let's make it bigger and better.
I had that game.
It was so good. It was so much fun.
It was great. I played that shit forever.
Yeah.
That my CD-ROM drive got just destroyed because it was overused. It melted. That shit melted. I played it every day. I love that. It was a great game, which we should just emulate that and play it live on YouTube Live. But okay, final thoughts. We already did final thoughts. Give me your ranking, 1 to 10. What's this episode? We've done it every episode so far. What do you think?
Again, it's gonna be low. Unfortunately, it's gonna. I'd have to get this one a 3. I would say. Yeah, it's like a 3.
Holy shit!
I know.
The fucking visuals get it to a 5 at least. DK, what the hell,
dude? I can't
sucks,
rest on that, man, because Daima has killed that for me. I will never rewatch Daima. I'm on the record as saying trash. I will never, ever rewatch Daima, and it is so beautiful. It's such a beautifully animated show that I will never rewatch. And so I can't just sit there and watch beautiful visuals if I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah. That's true.
A three. Yeah, the visuals were beautiful. There were a couple good moments, but yeah,
couple cool action sequences. Like I'll give it I'm still gonna give it a 5. You know, but that's like pretty much that's the lowest I've gone so far. I've been at like 7 or 8.
That's just because I've gone.
I've been high on the Ghost and Shell supply. So I have been just smoking that crack pipe of Ghost in the Shell since it started. But now I'm starting to wean off a little bit. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Am I feeling this like I was in the first 2 episodes or whatever? Nah, not as much. And I'm a little bit nervous to see where it's going. But at least we do get the Puppet Master plotline for at least 25 to 35 minutes in the last 2 episodes. So we'll see. But
we'll see. That might clinch it. We might be like, yeah, that show was great. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. And I just want to say, it's great to have you back on the show. We missed you last week, DK. We're glad you're here, and we can't wait to do this again next week with you. So,
right.
In other words, we are done. I think that's it. We talked our asses off 51 minutes. And we didn't even mention this, but we're having such a good time. If you're enjoying this pod, if you've even got to 51 and a half minutes, good for you. Like, subscribe. Please just write in the comments, tell us what you think and where it can go from here. And also, I am doing a Don manga read along right there, guys. All the manga from chapter 72 all the way to 200 and whatever we're in right now. I'm doing it week by week, 3 or 4 times a week. I'm releasing videos. They're super simple. They're 5 minutes. Just enjoy them. Watch all 5 minutes and, just join us after season 2 ends is where I start on the manga. So join us on the Don manga read along if you guys have the time, okay? And I think maybe some big shits about the pop, DK. If you're rewatching Evangelion, I mean, like, dude, there's no better time. We've been sitting on this one for years now. We might fucking have to do this.
I would be down to do an Ava pod, man. I don't care if we get it perfect.
Oh no.
It's been dissected to death. We're never gonna reach perfection, but just talking about it, dissecting it the best that we can. Yeah. I would love that. I would love that.
Well, we're gonna have to do an episode by episode one. We're not doing a whole 1 hour. It's done. Like if we're gonna do the Neon Genesis, it's gotta be deep. It's gotta go deep. It's gonna go hard, and it's gonna be a fucking in-depth podcast. So that'll be multiple episodes for sure. But let's do that after Ghost in the Shell. We'll stick in the futuristic world. But either way. It's great seeing you. Happy belated birthday, DK, and we'll see you next time on next week on the Nerdy Jock podcast. Okay.
All right.
Oh.